All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem. Rakakadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right, and what I want to get into this morning and deal with, the provisions that's promised, or the promised provisions, because we come into a time, all right, where we know that the devil, he wants to use, his leverage that he has, of people depending on his grid and depending on his system to live, and we seen the glimpse of that, with the MOTB. We seen the glimpse of that with the juice, okay, when the whole C-19, the lockdown, and he made, the Jews mandate in certain cases, certain jobs, certain, professions. All right, well, you had to get, the juice, okay, the military, okay, and you could lose your job behind not getting the juice. And people associate their job with what? Their life, their livelihood, how they survive, how they live. People's job is their existence in this system, because he has created a system of dependency, man, okay? So with this MOTB, it's going to be on another scale. You see, if you don't get the MOTB, you can't participate at all in society, man. You see, you can't do nothing. Okay? The juice, you still could, they had a little wiggle room with the juice. You can do particular things. You had some money saved, but with the MOTB, you see, it's going to a new currency. Okay? So the only way to continue on in this society is to take it. Okay? And to a lot of people, even though it's a lot of people that don't want to take it, well, they're going to be forced. Okay? Because they don't have any hope and provisions outside of Esau. Okay? They don't have any hope beyond this grid, beyond this current system. You see? So just by that alone, a lot of people are going to bend the knee. Because you're going to have those that are going to do it willingly, and then those that are going to be forced. All right? And we're getting ready to see the devil, bring more pressure to society, all right, to force people into this system. Okay? But when you read this, this is why the scriptures are known as the comfort. You see? So let's read this in the book of Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 3. It said, the Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. Yeah, so the Lord is not going to suffer the righteous to famish. Okay, the righteous are not going to starve. And those that have to die for Yahweh Shai, well, it's going to be an honorable death. It's not going to be a dishonorable death or torment and torture like the rest of these people finna get, man. When because the Lord's going to be judging, leading up to, the mandate of the MOTB. There's major judgment that's going to go forth. Okay? But leading up to the MOTB being mandated, all right, you're going to have people the Lord's going to have horrific death happening out here, man. Okay? People are going to be starving to death, which that's going to be a motivator for people to get the MOTB. You see? When people see people starving, okay, and the devil presents this MOTB as a solution to not to starve, okay, well, people are going to line up. Okay? Well, we have to remember what we've been promised is that the righteous shall not, we read again, it said the Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but cast away the substance of the wicked. So we have to know that the Lord has promised we weren't going to starve, man. Regardless of what Esau was saying, and this is when we're going to be tested, whether we trust our power, okay, or we trust this system, man. Everybody's going to be tested. It's the hour of temptation. Who do we believe? Okay? The Lord setting a scenario to really see, okay, what do they believe? You see? And this is why now in this grace period, man, it's time to draw close to our power. Get familiar with our power, man. Because the trust begins now. Trusting in our power begins now. And we're comforted by what's written. We have to be comforted just the fact that it's written. And it's all throughout the scriptures. Let's get this in Psalms 37. Let's get Psalms 37 and 18. Because it's written all through the scriptures, man. And the fact that it's written, we got to be willing, to put our life on it, man. Okay? Just because the fact that it's written, that's what it is, man. That's the type of faith we got to have. Talking to myself, first and foremost, Psalms 37 and 18, it said, the Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and the inheritance, all right, and their inheritance shall be forever. Yeah, because we have an inheritance. We have an inheritance that's promised by power. The Lord promised that he would, that the kingdom was going to translate from Esau into Jacob. You see, we have an expectation beyond what Esau talking about, man. Okay, we have a belief beyond in these threats that Esau is getting ready to come with. You see, the Lord has promised, his people an inheritance, man. And there's a remnant, who's going to get this inheritance at the end of Esau's kingdom. You see? So the Lord promised these things, man. Okay? We see all the signs of Esau falling. Esau, see, and that's another thing too. Esau not in his position to threaten. Because he's going to be judged. You see? And he's not in the position to make no promises. Because this nigga don't got long in rulership. Okay? So you people that trust in the promises of Esau, with this new world order, it's going to be short-lived. Because he doesn't have long. Okay? So it would be foolish to trust in a nigga that don't have long himself. Okay? Your manager can't promise you a promotion when he ain't got nothing but 2 weeks left at the job. Okay? Because a new manager gonna come undo all that, man. You see? So we know that Yahweh Shai is ushering in a new kingdom. Okay? And everything that we're seeing are the signs of this kingdom falling, man. You see, and we got to hold fast to that. That's what Yahweh Shai said, hold fast that thou already have till I come. So we already have that belief. We just got to hold fast in the clutch, man, when it counts the most. Okay? When the devil come down with all this pressure, to force this new world order. Because the Lord showing Esau that he going to have to force this new world order, man. Okay? And it says, verse 19, it said, they shall not be ashamed in the evil time. All right? And we're coming in the evil time. We're not going to be ashamed or embarrassed, man. The Lord not going to have us out here, starving and withering away. And we've been, and the Lord, has made these promises, man. You see? The Lord not going to have us out here, just through, man. Okay? Nah, man, the Lord, he already promised provision. So when you go to finish it off, Psalm 37 and 19 said, they shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine, they shall be satisfied, man. So the Lord said we're going to be satisfied in the days of famine. We got to lean on it. We just got to believe just off that, because it's written. He said it. And these are the precepts that, we have to have, on our mental Rolodex going into these times, man. Like, now the Lord said we're going to be satisfied. Okay? We might go a time period without eating. Okay? We might have a growling stomach or two. But we know that the Lord made promises, man. We're going to wait on him and the promises he made. Okay? We're going to wait on the Lord's favor, man. And it feels good even now. You know, the Lord tests us in this time. The Lord's always testing us, man. But it feels good to, in moments, even right now, to just wait on the Lord. And then the Lord come through. And there ain't no better feeling. You know? Like that. You know, because He's training us to wait on Him. So He shows us in these small situations, wait on me. You know? So when we get in the clutch, man, it's going to be a reflex, man. We're going to wait on our power. We're going to trust in Him. You know? He going to deliver us, man. You see? And there's been countless times He did it, you know, within this grace period, man. Okay? He made a way when it seemed like it was no way. You see? So when you, let's go into it. Verse 37 says, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs, like a sacrifice. They sacrifice in Basra. They shall consume into smoke. They shall consume away. Yeah, and that's the destruction, man. This devil finna be destroyed, man. He's finna be out here making promises and mandates and, you know, saying, nigga, you finna be destroyed, nigga. Okay? So these mandates and these threats and these promises that you making, they finna be voided out through your destruction, man, through your Yahushua. Okay? See, Esau is not going to be satisfied with what he's trying to do. He's going to be disappointed. He's going to be disgraced. He's going to be embarrassed out here, man. Okay? So this man has he's in no position, okay, to be doing all this threatening and making promises. But if you don't believe in Yahushua, man, okay, you're going to fold, you're going to fall, okay, to this man's threats and promises, man. Okay? Because you haven't been conditioned to believe beyond Esau. You know, the Lord is training us to believe beyond Esau, man. Like even now, man, we got to see a world thriving beyond Esau. I can see the earth thriving without this nigga in charge, man. Without this nigga in power, man. We got to see that now. You know? We should already see. We should already, because the truth makes us visionaries, man. Okay? Because let's go back here real quick. Let's get let's go here. Let's get Proverbs again. I want to read in NLT, Proverbs 10:3. It said, the Lord would not let the godly go hungry, but He refuses to satisfy the craving of the wicked. And this devil's craving is to play the Most High through technology, man. Okay? And He's not going to satisfy their craving. He's going to get to a certain point. Okay? And the Lord going to intervene on his ass, man. The Lord, the Heavenly Father going to drop their right hand on his ass, Yahushua, and break all this shit up, man. Okay? So we're going to get our desire, which is a righteous kingdom. Because that's what we thirst for, above food, which the Lord's going to provide, you know, actual food in the time of tribulation. But above, you know, actual food, man, we thirst for a righteous kingdom. Okay? And that's why you get the book of Matthew, chapter 5. Okay? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5. And verse 5, it says, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. You know, that's another thing. We finna get ready to inherit the earth, man. Esau ain't talking about nothing, some programmable money. Okay, to be tracked, to, you know, put a foreign device in you, to, you know, to be more plugged into it. Here it is, in this grace period, the Lord been separating us, man. Constantly separating us, man. And then we have a deep hatred for this society, man. So why the hell, when we take technology that links us more to this society, man? Okay? Nah, man, we finna inherit the earth. That's literal, man. The elect finna inherit the globe, the planet. You see? In righteousness, man. Okay? So we got something way beyond this nigga promises of being a goddamn cyborg, man. You see? And we're gonna inherit the earth in those new bodies. Okay, verse 6, it said, Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. You see, so we hunger and thirst after righteousness, man, even above, okay, the carnal food. You see, we have a thirst that's above that, which is a righteous world order, man, which Yahweh Shah is getting ready to bring. You see, so these devils, okay, they have nothing to offer the elect, man. And we say that often, man. Hey, and that's something to live on, man. The devil, Esau, has nothing to offer the elect, man. Okay? We want the reward that comes with Yahweh Shah. Okay, his coming, So Lord will, we have the patience, the courage and the faith, to wait on Yahweh Shah in the midst of this tribulation, man. So that's the point. So Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful. Shalom.